Hey guys, it's Monica here from My Big Camera. Today I will be showing you how to make these adorable baby jersey tieback headbands that can be used for newborn babies as well as sitters and older babies. Coming up next. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we create photography-related tutorials, videos, and challenges, so subscribe if you like that type of content. Also be sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified the moment we release another video. So I'll be showing you how to create these two variations of tiebacks. These are super stretchy, soft, comfortable, and the jersey knit ties allow you to adjust the size for any baby. You can either just tie a simple knot or you can tie a slip knot to make it easy to adjust the size. We will first be creating the pink one. You will need some jersey knit material. I actually like to buy these tank tops from Walmart as they're cheap, come in lots of nice colors, and they work perfectly. I like to buy the biggest size so I have as much material as possible. This one is a size 4X. Next, you will need some chiffon or other synthetic sheer fabric. You want to have a synthetic material because we will be burning the edges to make flowers. Some dry flowers, I got these from Michael's for about $10. Some small white flowers, cream colored rosette ribbon. I got this from Walmart and it comes on a spool. You can also just use some scrap chiffon material. Fabric scissors, pearls. I got these from Michael's as well. They come in pink, cream, and white, and 3 different sizes. Some crochet ribbon. I got this from the dollar store. Some small half pearl stickers, also from the dollar store. A tea light candle and a jar or glass. Metal tweezers. And a glue gun. The first step is to cut a strip of fabric for the band of the headband. So what I do is just cut about a 1-inch strip. You don't need to cut perfectly at all, since the fabric will curl in on itself, so I'm just eyeballing it here. I just cut from seam to seam on one side of the fabric, and that's usually the perfect length. One tank top will make lots of headbands. Once you have your strip, you just need to stretch it out so that the fabric curls in on itself. We will be placing our flowers on the inside fabric and spreading it apart so the headband creates that tapered look where the band is narrow, but the area where the flowers is wider. Next, I'm actually going to tie the headband to some cardstock to make it a little easier to work with. You can skip this step if you want. So now I'm going to take a 2-inch piece of my chiffon rosette ribbon. So to smush it up a bit, spread it apart the band and glue it down in the middle. Since I find that it's a bit bulky than I would like, I'm just going to trim some of the rosette fabric away. Next, I'm going to take one of the small white flowers and pull it from the stem. There are 2 layers to the flower, so I'm just going to glue the 2 layers together. Then I'm going to take one of the pearl stickers and glue it in the center of the flower. Then glue the flower to the headband. Now I'm going to set this aside and make the chiffon flower. To do that, we take the pink chiffon fabric and cut 2 circles of 2 slightly different sizes. I think mine are about 2 inches and 1.5 inches in diameter. You don't need to cut these perfectly at all since we will be burning the edges. You can see that mine are pretty jagged looking. So now we're going to take our tea light candle and tweezers and we're going to burn the edges of the 2 circles. You definitely don't want to put the fabric directly into the flame, just hold it above the flame until you notice the edges curling inwards. The jar or glass is so that the heat is contained inside of it, making it easier to curl the edges without going too close to the flame. I do recommend doing this in a well-ventilated area since you're basically burning plastic, so the fumes are probably not the best thing to be breathing in. So now we're going to take our 2 petal layers and glue them together with a dot of glue in the middle. You can make more petals if you want and layer them all together. You can really just get creative here. Now we're going to take that crochet ribbon and cut about a 3/4 inch piece. I'm going to distress it by pulling on the threads and stretching it a bit too. Then sort of scrunch it together and glue it into the center of the flower and trim off any excess. I'm going to take one of the cream medium-sized pearls and glue it into the center of the flower. I find that it helps if you use tweezers to hold the pearl, add a dot of glue, and then press the pearl into place with your finger. I burned many fingers until I figured out this technique. So now we're going to glue the completed flower onto the headband to the side of the white flower. Then we're going to add one of the larger and medium-sized pearls to the side of that. Then we're going to take some of our dry flowers, cut a small section, and glue it into place. So that's our completed headband. Keep in mind that these are fully customizable, so feel free to get creative or use whatever materials you have on hand. You can see how stretchy the headband is. I just have it tied into a simple knot in the back, but if you want to make it easy to adjust, you can use a slip knot. Now we're going to make the white headband. For this headband, you will need some white jersey knit material. I have another tank top here from Walmart. This one is an XXL. The same pink chiffon fabric that we used for the first headband. The same pearls. These pink and white paper roses that I bought from Michaels. The same crochet ribbon. Some moss from the dollar store. Tea light in a jar. Metal tweezers, and a glue gun. Our first step again will be to cut a 1-inch strip of our white jersey tank top. I cut a strip from one layer seam to seam. We're going to tie it to some cardstock again to make it easier to work with. Next, I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip of the crochet ribbon and trim the edges off. Then stretch it and distress it. Cut the ends into more of a tapered, rounded shape. Then glue it down in the center of the headband, unrolling the jersey fabric with my fingers while pressing it into place. So now we're going to create another chiffon flower by cutting 2 circles from our pink chiffon fabric. And then burn the edges just like we did before. Now that we have our 2 flower layers, we're going to glue them together. Then take the crochet ribbon, cut a small piece, distress and stretch it, smush it to your liking, and then glue it into the middle of the flower. Then trim off the excess. Now we're going to take some of the brown moss and scrunch it up and glue it into the center. Then glue a pearl into the center. Then we'll glue the flower into the middle of our headband. Now I'm just gluing more of the brown moss to the side of the flower. And I'm going to take one of the paper roses and glue it on top of the moss. Here I realized that I forgot to rip off the green part of the flower, so if you don't want that part on there, I recommend ripping it off before gluing the flower down. Then just adding a bit more of the brown moss, and then a medium-sized pink pearl above the rose. Now we're going to glue some more brown moss on the other side. Then set the headband aside. Now we're going to create a little chiffon rose by using the pink chiffon fabric. We're first going to start by cutting a strip. I think mine is about 12 inches long and 3/4 of an inch wide. Then what you're going to do is pull and twist the fabric while adding glue every once in a while, starting from the center and then spiraling around until you create a small rose. It's really hard to explain, so hopefully that makes sense. Then we will glue the rose to our headband and add a bit more moss. And that's it. That's the completed headband. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and that this inspired you to create some tiebacks for your next newborn session. Keep in mind that these are meant to be used as props and shouldn't be left on a baby unattended, as they contain small parts that a baby could potentially pull off, making it a choking hazard. Please hit that like button so that we can keep creating content for you. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications so that you get notified when we release our next video. And if you want our free Photoshop actions for editing newborn and portrait sessions, check out the link in the description below. Bye for now, and remember, keep creating.